Hello everyone, welcome to the interior of my BMW M240i. So the previous owner optioned the upgraded Idrive system, but they did not option Apple CarPlay. So I've decided to take the leap and retrofit Apple CarPlay with Easy Bimmer coating. So to retrofit CarPlay into my BMW, I am going to easybimmercoating.com and purchasing their $50 Apple CarPlay software, as well as installing the $10 wireless Wi-Fi antenna, courtesy of Bingfu. Just one quick note before moving on, you can email Easy Bimmer Coating and check if your car actually needs the Wi-Fi antenna installed. So the first step in installing the Wi-Fi antenna is to remove the center trim of your car. Now to do so, I have some cheap trim tools that you can find anywhere on Amazon or anywhere online for a couple bucks. So on the LCI version like I have, you want to start on the left-hand side closest to the steering wheel, and then you want to pry up from there. So once you have this trim pried off, you want to disconnect the unlock and hazard buttons with this plug right there. So then you have disconnected the wire up top from that wire right there, and you are ready to continue. So just for simplicity's sake, I have unplugged this connector, and I'm just going to rest that up there, kind of on top of my dash. Probably not the best place for it, but there are two T20 Torx screws right there and right there that you're going to want to remove. So from there, you just pry from the top downwards, and then you disconnect one connector in the top right corner there. So the next step is to remove the radio. Okay, so once you have the head unit out with those two T20 Torx screws, you want to flip it up, and you can actually see the connector for the Wi-Fi antenna right there. It is that bluish teal color. It'll just slot right on there, pretty simple. So once you connect the antenna, just feed it towards the back and then slide the head unit right back in. So now the next step is to reconnect this connector right here to the climate control unit. Once that's reconnected, you should be able to just pop this right back into place somehow. All right, so once that's back in place, all you need to do is pop this right back into the center trim and then pop everything back into place. All right, so this should pop right back in and be good to go in theory. Okay, so that took a bit of effort, but what I did, I started on this right-hand side and just banged it back in all the way along, and now it lines up perfectly all the way. All right, so I turned the car back on just to test everything. The HVAC system works, the hazard button works, all the trim is back in place and it's tight. Nothing's wiggling around more than it was before. Actually, this is. Now it's all good. Just push that back into spot. So first step, go to easybimmercoating.com, go to their menu, and then choose the version you need. I need the 2017 through 2019, so that is what I'm selecting. So right now it's on sale for $45, so get it while you can. And if you scroll down, you have two different options for installation. You can either use the USB installation or the Ethernet cable installation. So the USB is much easier, so if you have any of those versions listed, you just plug in a USB with the file and you're good to go, happens automatically. I'll need to do the Ethernet cable installation, which requires buying a separate cable. It's also pretty cheap, about $17, and then once you buy it, you will be emailed instructions on how to install Apple CarPlay. All right, so I have the LCI version of the M240i. So to check what software version you have, to see what kind of installation you need, you can go to Navigation, Settings, Position and Software Version, and Software Version. Now you can see here that I have NBT Evo R, which means I need the eNet installation. So the first step is to make sure your phone is completely unpaired to your car, both within the Idrive system and in your phone's Bluetooth settings. All right, so once you've purchased the package from Easy Bimmer Coating, you will receive an email with instructions on how to install it. And in that email, it includes a link to downloading the installer. I forgot to mention that once you have the installer running on your computer, you have to connect it to your car via the Ethernet cable, which I mentioned before. So this end plugs into your OBD2 port, and this port is an Ethernet that plugs right into your computer. Once you're here, you enter the 10-digit code that is within the email you received, and then you can move on. So once you've hit Find Vehicle and then clicked Identify, you should get this. Then it says Ready to Start. So click Start, and the Idrive system is rebooting. So the Idrive system has finished rebooting, and I believe it is rebooting again because this is still doing its thing. And it's done. The Idrive system is back to normal. And then it says process complete, server connection closed. So now you can move on. So now it says to restart your Idrive system manually by holding the volume button down. So you have to hold it down for a pretty long while before it actually reboots. So just wait, it'll restart. All right, so once the system has rebooted, go back into Connect New Device, and you can see that Apple CarPlay is active. So that's fantastic, and you can also get screen mirroring. That's fun too, and all the apps, good stuff. So pick Apple CarPlay, connect Apple CarPlay and confirm, and then that is my BMW code, so go into the settings and connect it. All right, so once you've paired your phone to your car, you scroll over in the main menu and you see Apple CarPlay. Now, you have full functionality of normal Apple CarPlay. You have messages, you have music, Google Maps. I have Dunkin' Donuts on here because I'm from New England, and my favorite, Waze. Now, I use this going everywhere, and I cannot wait to have it on my screen. So there you go, guys. That is the full tutorial on how to get Apple CarPlay working on your car, and I am so excited. Alright guys, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for my next video because I will be installing the VR performance intake for any F chassis B58 BMW. Thank you, and I'll see you then.